Okay, so hello and welcome to this American Promise Training and Action Series. This one is the Friend Banking team. I want to introduce you to Vicki Barnes, the Minnesota chapter leader with American Promise, and I am Marnie Walsh, the Empowerment Coordinator with American Promise. The purpose of this Friend Banking team is one, to inspire you about the importance of bringing new people into American Promise to join in fulfilling our mission to win the 28th Amendment. Two, to help you be a more confident and enthusiastic spokesperson for our work. And three, to provide a structure of ongoing support to assist you in succeeding.
Tonight's session is one in a series of 5 trainings and ongoing teams of support. So this friend banking team will eventually include topics like writing and telling your story of self, learning a laser talk, friend banking, and other forms of personal outreach. We won't just learn those things. We'll be meeting once a month to support each other in doing them, to support each other in succeeding. The last few training sessions, we've practiced the friend banking script, but tonight is going to be the action. Yes! We're actually going to be making some calls. Marnie will put the script in the chat so you have it as a tool. If this is your first time at the friend banking team, please let Marnie and I know. And Marnie will spend some time with those of you who are new to the group later and discuss the purpose of friend banking and role play the script with you. But first, a bit of an icebreaker so we can get to know each other a little bit better. When you were younger, what did you want to be when you grew up? I'll start. I wanted to teach kindergarten. But luckily, the first class I went to in college, you had to go visit elementary school classes. And I quickly changed my major to political science. Linda, what about you? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I wanted to be a public speaker. So, yeah, I think because I came from a big family and I never felt like I had a voice.
Well, you're doing well with it.
So can I call this person?
Yes.
Okay, Gary, how about you?
When I was younger, I wanted to be Indiana Jones when I grew up.
That's awesome.
Great choice. You want to call on somebody, Gary?
Sure, about Sam Harris.
Okay, great. It depends on which younger you're talking about. But when I was in 9th grade and we did a report on what we wanted to be, I wanted to be a naval officer. There was a TV show called Annapolis and I wanted to be a naval officer.
Good for you. You want to call on the next person, Sam?
Yes, I want to call on Heather Santos.
Well, I wanted to be a doctor. I had a sick mom, but then I took my first science class and realized I hate science.
Bill, how about you? What did you want to be when you grew up?
I think when I was growing up, I had no idea what I wanted to be. But I ended up being a high school science teacher.
Sorry about the science comment.
And my teaching comment. How about you, Jody?
I wanted to be a forest ranger. I love the redwoods, and I was really in love with, I'm still in love with the forest and the redwoods. Yeah.
Wonderful. How about you, Mary Beth?
Well, when I'm like one of you who said at what point, when I was in 2nd grade and I was only 6 years old, and I thought I have to be a nun because there's no other way I'm getting to heaven. And then I thought I'll be a sister of charity because then I could work in the medical field. And then as I grew up, I wanted to be a pediatrician, but I ended up working with troubled kids. So there you go.
Good for you. How about you, Marnie?
I guess it depends the time period because I would change all the time. But what sticks out to me is that I had such an eccentric sense of style when I was younger, and I really wanted to be a fashion designer and be in Vogue magazine. That was my dream.
Mm.
Oh, nice. All righty. Well, that was good. Thank you for sharing. So I think
Okay.
Marnie's got a little game for us.
Yep. So again, we're gonna be having, I would say this is more of a friend making party than a team, because we're gonna play Jeopardy, but it's political Jeopardy. I'm a huge Jeopardy fan, so I'm just gonna share my screen and we can get going. So to participate, there's down in the bottom of your screen, there's a reaction bar with a little smiley and it has like a plus sign. Just push the raise hand button when you have an answer. And if I don't get to you soon enough, you can yell it out because we have a small group today. All right, here we go. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, but
Okay.
I don't see the whatever,
The raise hand.
right?
It's at the bottom on the right of your Zoom screen.
Maybe that's because
It's
Just-
within reactions, the smiley face reactions.
I don't see it.
See where the chat button is? You know where the chat button is on your screen, on the bottom of your screen? The horizontal
Yes.
row? Okay, to the right of the chat button, there's a smiley face with a little plus up by the top of the smiley face's head. You click on that.
I don't see it.
He might have an older version of Zoom.
Yeah, that's okay.
Ah,
Just raise your hand regular.
Yep.
If you have an older version of Zoom, it might be, if you click on the participants list, it might be at the very bottom of that.
Perfect.
Do you see?
All
it?
righty.
that's
Is
okay. Go
everyone
ahead.
set to go?
Yep.
Okay. So the categories are presidents, it's all relative,
Oh, okay.
foreign/domestic policy, history, and random facts. So Sam, let's start her off.
Presidents for $100.
Okay. The 44th president of the United States is Linda.
Barack Obama.
Yep.
Oh, you didn't
She is
answer
correct.
in the form of a question.
Oh,
Yes.
Barack
Who is
Obama.
Barack Obama? There you go. Let's see. Woo. All right. You can pick the next category, Linda.
Presidents for 200.
Great. The man was the general of the Union Army and later became POTUS.
Otis.
Linda?
Who was, well, no, I can picture, Ulysses S. Grant.
Let's see. Yeah.
Surprise. It's all relative for 100.
This is the amendment which gave women the right to vote.
Mm.
Jody.
Is that the 19th Amendment?
What is the 19th Amendment?
What is
Yep.
the 19th Amendment, okay.
Wow. You can pick a category, Jody.
History for 100.
History for 100. The number of states existed in the US after the Revolutionary War. Heather?
13. 13.
What's the question?
Oh,
Wow.
what are 13 states?
Awesome. All right, Heather, you can pick the next category.
Random facts for 100.
This is the 50th state of the US. Sam.
What is Hawaii?
Yay. All right. Go ahead, Sam. Random facts for 200? Okay. The total number of positions in the Supreme Court. Gary?
What is the number 9?
Yeah. All right, Gary, pick the next category.
Let's go history for 500.
Ooh, whoa. Okay. This was the first Constitution of the United States ratified in 1777. Gary, I see your hand up again.
What
Go
are
for
the
it.
Articles of Confederation?
What? Yeah,
All right, Gary.
awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Gary.
Let's go foreign policy for 200.
DAPL was one of the most controversial topics this year, as an underground oil pipeline was supposed to be built, which violated sacred Native American lands. However, its construction was halted by the executive branch earlier this year. What does DAPL stand for?
Well, we should get this.
Sam, your hand's up.
Mistake.
He didn't lower
Vicky,
it.
What is the Dakota Access Pipeline?
yep,
Yay.
Oh, good for you.
awesome.
All right.
Come on, Minnesota. Come on, this has been all over the news.
All right, Vicky.
It's all relative for 300.
Ooh. In 1966, Bobby Seale and Huey Newton formed this party in Oakland, California. They initially formed to protect local communities, mainly African American communities, from police brutality and racism. They were highly targeted by the US government and criticized for their sometimes controversial actions. Name this party. Who do I see? Mary Beth?
Black Panthers.
Yes, and yesterday was Malcolm X's birthday.
Hey,
All right, Mary Beth, you can pick a category.
oh, let's see, history for 200.
This man is known as the father of the Constitution.
Who is
Jody?
Thomas Jefferson?
Oh.
Oh,
No, go
go
ahead.
ahead.
Who is Thomas Jefferson?
I think it's wrong though.
James Madison. All right, so I'll pick a category for you all. We'll do presidents for 500. This president has the shortest term to date, as he died from an illness only a month after he was inaugurated.
Oh,
Oh, I know this.
I have the book.
Bill,
Bill knows.
Bill knows.
This is, who is Buchanan?
Mm,
Oh,
Shoot.
Oh,
William Henry.
William Henry Harrison.
I was wrong.
Never heard of him.
That's because he was only president for a month.
You can
Hard to
choose
do
the
much
next
consequential.
category, Bill.
About foreign and domestic policy for 300.
Awesome. This was a referendum which resulted in Britain leaving the European Union last year, causing major and immediate consequences on global economies. Whose hands do I see? Gary?
What is Brexit?
Yep. Awesome job. All right, Gary. Next category.
Let's go random facts for 500.
First female Supreme Court Justice.
Oh, oh,
Linda?
Who is Sandra Day O'Connor?
Yep.
And she grew up in El Paso, Texas, went to the same high school my father did.
oh,
Neat.
Not at the same time, but they went to the same high school.
Awesome.
It's all relative for 500.
The controversial Supreme Court ruling
oh.
allows for, oh my gosh, no way. Allowed for corporations to spend unlimited amounts of money advocating for or against candidates. Many criticize this as a ruling as violation of American democracy and has shown big money's influence on politics. Name the ruling.
Let's
Everyone
all
can
say it
out loud.
together.
We say
Yeah.
Citizens
Yeah.
United.
Citizens United.
What is Citizens
Yeah.
United?
I think it was, wasn't it Clinton versus?
It was
It was Hillary Clinton, wasn't it?
No, the Citizens United made a documentary about Clinton. They were
Yeah.
going against the FEC.
Yeah.
so
Oh,
Can I
okay.
take a
But
quick
it had to do
picture
with
of
her.
this? Does anyone mind if I take a picture?
no, go for it.
Okay. This is just too funny because I did not look at all of these. Got it. All right.
Oh, I should have had my button up there.
Oh. All right. We'll do two more.
Who want, well, you start us out, Marnie.
Okay. We'll do foreign domestic policy for 500. The Cuban Missile Crisis was one of the more tense moments of the Cold War, as America and the Soviet Union came extremely close to war. Name the US president in the year this event took place.
Ooh.
I see a lot of hands. Jody, do you know?
Who was JFK? John Kennedy.
Yeah, what year?
61.
Oh, close.
Okay.
That's so good. She still gets 350 because she got half of it. All right. One more, Jody.
History for 400.
This president was responsible for the Louisiana Purchase, which nearly doubled the original size of the US. Gary?
Who was Thomas Jefferson?
Awesome.
Yay!
Good job.
I mean,
was
I'm
so
still in
fun.
high school, so this is fresh in my memory.
I know, I was thinking, I'm like, he must be in AP history because
AP government right
AP
now.
Gov, yeah, I took it.
Thanks for making us feel
Yeah.
better.
No
Yeah.
worries.
Well, Gary, you were the big winner. We don't have a prize, but congratulations, everybody. Raise the roof. Woohoo!
Yay!
Awesome. Okay, we just have a couple questions. So did everyone like this activity?
Oh, yeah.
Fun.
Awesome. All right. And we're moving
Okay.
on.
So we're going to do a short role play of a call using a script that Marnie put in the chat. And we also sent out with the email that was a reminder. And it's just a role play. And we will start now. Ready, Marnie?
Yep, I'm ready.
Okay, all right. Ring, 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 ring.
Hello?
Hi, Marnie, it's Vicki. Do you have a moment to talk?
I do.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. I got my second COVID vaccine and I'm feeling excited.
Awesome, me too. I just can't wait to join everybody again, outside and inside. That'll be nice.
Yes.
I think you know, I've been volunteering with a group that's fired up about getting money out of politics. It's American Promise. And our mission is to unite Americans behind the goal of amending the United States Constitution so we can finally eliminate big money from our political campaigns. I'm calling you and a few other friends who I think care most about the difference that we can make. And we're doing this thing that's called friend banking. And we're just kind of sharing a little bit about American Promise and seeing if maybe there's a place in there you could help us out. But basically you're helping me out by just helping me on the phone call. So I was wondering what you've been doing since the election. Are you involved in any kind of volunteer work or any kind of issues you're working on?
So I just graduated, I graduated college a year ago. And since graduation, I presented my college thesis at my local sheriff's department talking about police brutality and new policies and techniques that they could potentially use to limit use of force. But I haven't really thought about big money in politics specifically.
Well, first of all, kudos to you. That's a huge undertaking. That's really sticking your neck out. How did that go for you?
It was definitely an interesting experience because it was the height of all of the different instances of police brutality. So there was times where it felt emotional, but I try to push through those feelings and, provide knowledge and open conversation.
Did you feel like they were receptive to your conversation?
Yeah, I would say so. I think it's hard because I wish the topic wasn't so controversial, but there was definitely, I would say, some people who were a little bit reserved.
Yeah, I could see that. Well, money in politics affects all the issues, especially the social justice issues. There's a lot of work we have to do in areas like that, but the people who are influencing our elections and our policies have other things they're concerned about, and the social justice just isn't really high on their list of priorities. I wonder if you've given much thought about how persuasive big money in our elections is. Did you know that $14 billion was spent in 2022 election cycle? That's over twice as what was spent in 2016. In fact, 10%, over 10% of that was spent by just 100 people, wealthy people who put their needs above ours. Is there some other issue you care about that seems to get nowhere because big money lobbying stops it?
Thinking about it, healthcare, the access to healthcare, I would say.
Yeah, that's a big issue too. And we're just not going to solve it because you have people spending for one, solution against another group of people, and all they do is fight and fight, and nothing is ever done in Congress. So I was wondering if you'd like to just take a minute and help us move forward our movement a bit by filling out a pledge online on our website. You have a minute to do that? Oh, great. Okay. If you could just go to www.americanpromise.net.
Mm-hmm.
And then you see at the top, it says take action.
Yep.
And you click on that and it says sign the pledge. And then you'll see the citizen pledge come up. And there you go. Do you want to read that out loud?
So sign the pledge. I join overwhelming majority of Americans to demand an amendment to the United States Constitution to end the domination of big money in politics and give voice to all Americans. I will stand with all Americans without regard to party or other differences, and urge all candidates and elected officials to do the same in order to pass and ratify such a constitutional amendment as soon as possible.
So is that something that you can agree with?
Absolutely.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah, if you would want to fill that out, and it's going to ask for your street address. And the only reason they do that is because when we meet with legislators, we like to be able to say how many supporters we have in their district. So if you put that in there, then we can include you in that number.
Great. And then says if you have the outside duck. Cool. So I can just
You,
care
yeah, you
about-
can. Yep, you can put what you care about there, and that will print out also as your main concern.
Awesome. Officials always stand, and I can identify my
You can
political
fill that
party.
out or not, if you know, whatever you feel comfortable with. But
Yep.
as far as the email list, I recommend you keep that checked because it's only 2
Okay.
emails a month, and then you'll be kept in the loop, so you'll know what's going on. But if
Yep.
you know, if you ever want to opt out, you can opt out. And if you're interested in volunteering, we'd love to have you come to the next meeting and see if there's a place for you there.
Awesome.
So it's going to be Monday night, and I can send you a link.
That would be great.
Okay, great. Well, it's so nice to talk with you again, Marnie. Thanks so much for
as
filling
well.
out that pledge, and I look forward to seeing you at our Monday meeting.
Thank you. You too.
Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
All righty. So that's our kind of a generic script, and you can take it and personalize it the way that makes you comfortable. Are there any questions or suggestions or concerns? Okay.
No.
I've got, Vicki, when I wrote in some other things that I would say after inviting the person to our next American Promise meeting, I asked, does anyone else come to mind who you think might be interested in this as well? And would you like to invite them to attend our meeting as well? Or do you think I should give him or her a call? What do you think?
I think that's perfect. I think that's great. It helps build the movement. Anybody else? Okay. Well, Marnie's going to move us to a breakout room so we can put ourselves on mute and our computers on mute to make calls. And when we're done, when you're done with your calls, just leave the room and you'll join the rest of the group. If you need some practice or need some work on your script or are just new and want to learn a bit more, you can stay where you are, and Marnie will be working with you.
Yeah. So making phone calls can be a little bit nerve-wracking. So if you're up for it, we have faith in you. Everyone gets nervous the first time trying new things. However, we need more people being nervous about dark money. Insert laughter here. That's what I said. So if you aren't ready to take the next step, you can stay in the main room with me. Just put stay in the chat.
Okay, ready?
Everyone ready?
Mhm.
Okay. Here we go. We're going to make breakout rooms. Here we go.
Legislature. Some of them call for a constitutional convention. She doesn't want that. She doesn't want to be a part of signing anything that might just possibly include that.
Mhm.
So
But she supports it in general.
yes, she
Good.
does. She
Good.
very much supports it in general.
Good.
And I asked her about friend banking, and she said, well, two things. Number one, she's got a lot of other things going on her plate, so she doesn't want to overcommit. And number two, she's older and doesn't hear as well, so she thought phone calls might not be as a good use of her talents. So, but she's coming for
Good.
the June meeting.
Hey, could I
Awesome.
make a comment on that, Jody? That was a real problem for me. I had to stop making phone calls because of my own hearing loss. And just a year ago, I got new hearing aids that my phone actually comes right through my hearing aids, so I can talk on the phone again. But I was not able to do that for a few years.
Wow.
Wow,
It's a real thing.
that's
Yeah.
good.
Oh, yeah.
Gary, were you able to connect with anybody?
I ended up emailing my government teacher because I don't know her phone number, but she's been really helping me through trying to find a advocacy group for since pretty much fall, actually.
Mhm.
So yeah, I just sent her an email about American Promise.
Oh, good. Good job.
Awesome.
Way to go.
How about you, Linda?
Yes, Mary Ann would still be talking if I finally had to say to her, Mary Ann, how about if we talk again real soon? Actually, they're waiting for me at American Promise. Oh, okay. She said that. But she's going to see if she can attend. She attends some Zoom meetings from the Geological Society 2 Monday nights a month. And she said, I don't remember exactly which ones they are. So she said, I'll check. And if they're not the fourth Monday, I'll be at yours.
Good.
Yeah. She's going to sign the Citizens Pledge and put in her address and to get the emails. And I said, why don't you talk around to your friends too and see if maybe we can find a community of people we could have coffee and talk about it. She said, yeah, I'll do that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. I called somebody who is very, very active politically. I don't know if you know Karen Fine Gallagher. Do you know Karen? She's in She's in your district.
Gallagher.
Gallagher, yeah.
Yeah.
I called her because I knew she and I always run into each other. And I Facebook messaged her and she gave me her phone number, and she's going to share the pledge all over all social media, all the groups that she's involved in. And she's got contacts in CD1 too. So that'll get us into Hagedorn's district. So yeah, so good. All right. So does everybody feel like this was something you'd like to keep doing? You're an empowerment coordinator, Linda. You can't quit now.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Awesome. Role playing really does help. You smooth out the rough edges so you're more comfortable with it. It really does help.
Mhm.
Yeah, and sticking with a script in some way helps me make sure I cover everything I really need to cover. So that's helped me a lot. So that's a great tool. Sam, anything you want to add?
No, it's just great to be with everybody. And, when I was in the breakout room with Marnie, or in the main room, I guess, who was our colleague who was talking?
Mary Beth.
Yeah, she was talking about it's kind of overwhelming. There's so much to do and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, that's the main part of phone banking, bringing new people in, some just to sign a petition, some more deeply kind of thing. And she talked about cynicism. And I shared a quote with her that I've put in the chat, and maybe I'll close with it in terms of my own comment. Optimism is a political act. Those who benefit from the status quo are perfectly happy with a large population of people who think nothing will get any better. In fact, these days, cynicism is obedience. What's really radical is being willing to look right at the magnitude and difficulty of the problems we face and still insist that we can solve those problems. And you can cut it and paste it from chat if you're interested in it.
Looking at the chat and I don't see it, Sam.
I don't think when we were in breakout rooms, I think we missed it.
Okay, so sorry. Give me 1 second. I'll cut it and paste it into
Can I tell you when I talk to people about American Promise, what I say about it is I say, we have grown to expect our elected officials to lead the way for us, for always what's best for the citizenry. But that really isn't the case. I mean, that real change has always bubbled up from the ground. You know, it's the groundswell, the grassroots movements that grow and build to the point where the elected officials can no longer ignore it. And that's what's happening with American Promise. And so when you sign on to it, you are adding to the strength that's going to force them to act on this in a way that serves the rest of us. And I mean, who could argue with that? They may not believe me, but they don't argue with me.
Yeah,
Did
Well,
it
you are
show
the
up in
empower-
chat this time?
it did. Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Well, this was great.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun. Great. And our next, so we have a couple upcoming calls. Did everyone get the email that was sent about upcoming calls?
Other than friend banking.
Yep, other than friend banking.
I signed up for one about letters to the editor.
Yep,
Good.
yep, awesome.
Mhm.
And invite your friends to those upcoming
I
calls.
will. I'll make some phone calls about that. That's a good one.
Great.
Okay, so yeah, those are skills you can use for anything, not just for American
Yep.
Promise. So yeah.
Absolutely. And Gary, were you able to see
The what? The
did
email?
you get the email about the
I did,
upcoming-
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Perfect.
yeah, I signed up for the planning and organize.
Organizing events.
Yeah, those.
Oh, good.
Great.
Yeah, Gary, if your government teacher is supportive, she may let you do a presentation, or you could show a film in your class. We have some good little 7-minute films too.
Okay,
So-
yeah, actually, yes. Actually, email me those. I might send those to her. Yeah, funny thing, I've actually tried advocating on my own to my AP government class before I came here.
Awesome.
Unfortunately, I severely overestimated the political awareness of high schoolers. But all I really got out of it was I was elected most likely to be president now in my high school. So that's
awesome.
something, I guess.
Yeah.
You can put that on your resume.
Yep.
Maybe I will.
You can get them all registered to vote.
Yeah. Have they registered?
I think so, yes.
Yeah.
Good.
I'm jealous of you, Gary, to be so politically awake and aware at your age. I was 3 times your
Mhm.
age before I started to pay close attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have my dad mostly to thank for that. He got me on into philosophy and just thinking about the world at 6th grade, and I wasn't very smart in middle school, but I was trying, and now I am where I am. So
Good for
yeah, I
you.
actually came looking for an advocacy group. I didn't just stumble across American Promise.
That's awesome.
Good. Good. Well, we're glad to
Yeah.
have you.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll send those films to you.
Yeah.
So we have slideshows and all kinds of stuff. So anything you need, we can help you out.
And other than like these sort of I guess helping you out sort of meetings where you're practicing stuff, is there like a general American Promise discussing what to do meeting, like forming a strategy and planning stuff?
Monday or Tuesday night, we have a strategy meeting for state action. Isn't that
okay,
right, Marnie?